there is no shape memory at room temperature on these files. What does that mean? That means that, for example, if you were to take the file and put a bend on it or pre-bend the instrument, it will maintain that same shape without recoiling back to its original shape. All NiTi files that are out on the market, once you bend the file, it would immediately recoil back to its original shape. And that recoil makes the file, first of all, more stiff, and also will have a tendency to straighten out the canal and maybe possibly ledge or transport the apex from where the true anatomy was located. So that's a unique thing about these files. So because they are so flexible, they will allow you to track the canal without any issues. They have great fatigue resistance because they are not a stiff file. And if you were to push them beyond their limit, they will unwind on you, give you a warning, and you can put that file back in the autoclave, and the heat generated from the autoclave will allow the file to recoil back to its original shape and allow it further use for subsequent visits. When you have a very flexible file, a file that will not recoil back to its original shape, you can avoid mishaps such as the ones you see on the screen here, which is a ledging, transportation because the file wants to straighten out, or even worse, perforation. All of these typically will lead to failure of your case, inadequate shaping and cleansing of the apical 1/3, and subsequent recurrence of the lesion. A lot of these things can also be avoided with good hand filing and a good glide path. Please remember that regardless of whatever system you use, always make sure that you have a good glide path with your hand files. And a glide path, it means taking a 10, then a 15, and ideally a 20 hand file to length, where these files can easily slide in and out the canal prior to the introduction of any rotary instrument into the canal. A lot of times I see general practitioners getting into trouble because they jumped to the rotary instrumentation too fast, and because the manufacturer told them they can hand file to an 8 or a 10 and get going. Please make sure you spend a little bit of extra time on hand filing, and that will prevent a lot of your problems.